After 97 long days, it is finally time. This is Formula One qualifying with 20 of the best drivers in the world. Under the floodlights of Bahrain International Circuit, we meet again for the first qualifying session of the season. Now let's work out who we're going to see in the second part of qualifying. On board we go with Yuki Tsunoda, currently 17th, needs an improvement, finds an improvement, but remember, he's the first one to take the checkered flag, so others will have a chance to respond. Starting with his teammate, Daniel Ricciardo gets himself up to 11th, Logan Sargent finds himself in the drop zone, so does Lewis Hamilton, who needs a lap, but he's on an improvement. Stroll goes to second place, that was tidy when he needed it most. Lewis Hamilton, 18th position, not what he wants at all, needs a lap to answer it. Here it comes, and he moves himself up to 10th place ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. He will breathe again. What about Ocon? What about Gasly? It is a tale of woe for the French manufacturer at the moment. Two race-winning Grand Prix drivers. The drivers aren't in question, but they are trying to hustle a car around a circuit that does not have the performance. Ocon improves his lap time, not his position. Gasly's only fighting his teammate. It's a sorry state of affairs for Alpine. Here's the French Grand Prix winner over the line. He too improves his time and not his position. And for the second year in a row, Pierre Gasly will start the season from P20. Out in the first part of qualifying. Two Saubers, Bottas ahead of Joe, Logan Sargent, and two Alpines, Ocon ahead of Gasly. And once again, the requirement to take a step forward under pressure is going to separate those who exit and those who advance to the top 10 shootout. Piastri has gone up to 6th place. Where can Alexander Albon go? He'll go into 8th. A good effort, but it will leave him vulnerable.
Monster lap from Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah, phenomenal lap time from Hülkenberg. He's second. He's second in the order. Over the line goes Stroll. He goes to 8th. Albon down to 9th. Hamilton at risk in 10th position. Here's a driver who could knock Hamilton out for a second. It's Daniel Ricciardo who does so. Daniel Ricciardo to 10th position. He's beaten Hamilton by 0.08 of a second. Sainz is currently in 12th, but he's got the fastest middle sector. He's got the second fastest time now. He's behind only Verstappen, and now it's Ricciardo in the drop zone, along with Hamilton, Magnussen, and the second Mercedes of Russell, Tsunoda, with a good lap time to get up to 8th position, and the Japanese driver will be the lead RB on the grid. Charles Leclerc is in 6th, now 7th, because Alonso has gone up to 3rd. Mercedes need a couple of laps.
They're both out there and they're both finding a bit of pace. Hamilton 13th and Russell 15th. They were so late out. They're only halfway through this lap.
That's the fastest time from Charles Leclerc, and the crowd enjoyed that one, getting a roar from the grandstand.
Hamilton's had loads of traffic. They've both had to deal with slowing down cars as well. Russell sliding coming out of the final corner.
Russell to the flag, needs an improvement. Currently in 15th. George Russell comes over the line and goes to 6th. That was a great final sector when he really needed it. Stroll is eliminated. Hamilton currently 14th. Hamilton finds his way to 4th to knock out Yuki Tsunoda. At the end, Tsunoda out by 7 thousandths of a second. Tsunoda, Stroll, Albon, Ricciardo and Magnussen go out in the second part of qualifying, and progression or the exit separated by 7 thousandths of a second. His first effort in qualifying Q3 is complete. This is what it looks like when you come across the line, and it is a 1:29.6 to marginally go ahead of Norris, then Hülkenberg. Verstappen fastest in the first sector, personal best in the middle, and he goes ahead of George Russell by less than 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, that's within Hamilton's striking distance. So if Hamilton's able to get his lap together, as we're about to find out,
goes up to 4th. Behind Norris, behind his teammate, behind his old rival Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez to 4th position, ahead of Hamilton. But behind Norris and Russell, we await the two Scarlet Ferraris. This is the man who is top of FP3. The final practice session before this moment. Can Sainz get himself to the front row? The answer is no. And now we've got a question with Charles Leclerc. Can he follow up? Can he put the pressure on? The answer is second place. It's Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Sainz and Norris. The world champions on top by a fine margin of 59 thousandths of a second, by 500ths of a second. It's super close once again in Formula One qualifying. In 2005, he was at the front of the field for the Bahrain Grand Prix, but he's off in the first sector. The middle sector, though, is absolutely mighty. And that was with, on this lap, he missed the apex of 8. He wasn't on the limit at 4. In the middle part of the lap, where the driver makes the difference, Fernando on fire.
Yeah, the Matador is showing that he's still got the fight in him. It's still a couple of times shy of the best middle sector of qualifying so far, but a brilliant lap.
What a superb performance to run in the gap. Fernando Alonso gets to 3rd position. Verstappen has done a 28.5 in the first sector. Charles Leclerc at 28.7.
And both Mercedes 28.8. So not looking like Mercedes are going to challenge for the front row, assuming the others complete their laps, well, unless they make a big step forward. Does seem to be that middle sector. A number of drivers are finding a big step forward. Alonso did it. We had Lando Norris do it as the checker flag's out.
George Russell across the line. Great final sector, and he needed it to go up to 3rd position. Here is Lewis Hamilton across the line. He's only up to 8th. He couldn't find the pace of his teammate, and he will be the 2nd Mercedes on the grid tomorrow. Max Verstappen looking good across the line, lowering the benchmark. It's a 1:29.1 for Max Verstappen, who has just thrown down the gauntlet and said, you need to find an improvement of 0.3 of a second if you're going to deny me the opening pole position of the year. Across the line comes Charles Leclerc. He can't find it despite an improvement of time, and it's all down to Sainz and Perez now. Sainz improves to 4th place. Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell and Sainz. Perez will try and get to the front row. It's 5th place for the Mexican driver across the line, and after a great battle, when the wick was turned up, when it was all decided, the world champion steps forward once again. Max Verstappen takes pole position number 33 in his career, and he will start Formula One in 2024 from the front of the field. For car number 1, Max Verstappen picking up where he left off. He remains the driver to beat, and he has the clearest view of the start of the season tomorrow for the first Grand Prix of the year.